Hello, I'm Kev Partner from Indie Author Platform, and I'm about to create a paperback version of my recent ebook release, and I thought this might be interesting to some people because I'm going to be using Draft2Digital to create the paperback layout. This video is going to be about how the internal layout is created. If I think it's useful when I come to do the cover, then I'll also show how that's done. But you have to do the internal layout first, because until you have done that, until you've picked a trim size and had the layout created, you won't know how many pages the book has and therefore how wide the spine needs to be, and so you can't have your graphics, your cover graphics finished. So here I am, I've created a Draft2Digital account. As you can see, I've been using them for some time. You don't have to use Draft2Digital to distribute your book. This particular book that I'm creating a paperback of is actually in KDP Select, so I'm not allowed to distribute the ebook through Draft2Digital. It's this one here. I'm going to go into this and into Edit Book. Now, when you create a brand new book, this is the screen you'll see. This is the details screen. If you're not going to be distributing through them, you don't actually need to complete the description. The other stuff I would complete because it doesn't take a minute. Draft2Digital allows you to keep track of your series, so you haven't got to keep typing it in, and to make sure that your spelling is consistent. So what I'm going to do here is upload my book file. Now, Draft2Digital at the moment will happily support uploading EPUBs direct, which is generally speaking the way I prefer to do it. I prefer to create in Juto, and then so that it's exactly how I want it, and then have it uploaded to Draft2Digital. But if we want a print layout, then it has to be uploaded in Word format. So it's a case of going to Browse and opening your format, your Word document. Now, before we go any further, I'm just going to show you that my Word document is very simply formatted. What I actually do is, as I said, I use Juto for my ebook compiling, so both for Amazon and, if I'm going wide, for other retailers. What I then do actually is I use Juto to store the master document. So if I need to make the odd amendment because a typo has been found, rather than making it in Word and then having to re-import the Word document into Juto, I make the change in Juto, and when I need a published manuscript, a reference manuscript, then I export from Juto in open document format, which is compatible with Word. And that's what this is. So this has actually been exported from Juto. But it's very similar to how I write anyway. I use Novella to do my writing. And I use Word for later edits, for later drafts. And I keep this formatting incredibly simple. The final ebook and the final print book are formatted either in Juto for the ebook or using Draft2Digital in this case for the print book. I'm not putting formatting into the Word document that I intend to see later. The simpler the format of the Word document when you upload it, the better the results. I basically use Word as a typewriter, and I don't do any formatting beyond assigning the heading 1 style to each of the chapter titles. That's it. What it actually looks like is irrelevant as long as it is tagged with heading 1. So that's the document. Very simple. I've removed all of the front matter from the document for reasons that will become apparent shortly. That's been uploaded. We can move to the next section. As you can see, it's picked up my chapter titles there from my marking them as heading 1. You can put your title page into your Word document and then upload it, but actually I prefer to allow Draft2Digital to auto-generate it. So in this case, it takes the information, in both of these cases, it takes the information from step 1, the details that I put in, and generates them for me. I've also added a dedication here, which you type yourself and Draft2Digital also allows you to set up other biographical pages and such like, but in my case I'm just I have an author's note at the end that will do the same, achieve the same thing. Obviously try these things out for yourself. There's nothing to be lost in trying it for yourself and working out which combination works best. But in my case, those are the three that I set. If we just save and continue. We're now looking at the style we're going to give the document. And you would get to this would be the point at which you would download your Mobi or your EPUB if you were using Draft2Digital to create them. You don't need to tick this. This wouldn't actually publish it if you tick this and click save and continue, because you'd then have to pick your sales channels, but there's actually no reason to go beyond this. So in here we have a preview, and then we can choose a look for this applies to the ebook and to the print book. We can select drop capitals if we like. I'm not having them here. In actual fact, I'm going to go for the minimal one because I think that works nicely for science fiction. Have a quick leaf through to make sure it looks okay. So that's basically how the ebook will work, but it's also essentially the layout for the print version. So now what you don't want to do at this point is download a PDF, because that'll be a PDF of the ebook. What you need to do is click down the bottom here where it says other formats. And all you do at this point is you pick the book size. I'm going to choose 5x8. 4.5 by 6 I don't think is actually supported by KDP Print or CreateSpace. 5x8 I think is the smallest size, and it's a fairly standard size. I don't like 6x9, it's too big, and this is only a short book, so I don't want it to look too thin. And then click download PDF. Doesn't take long, and it's downloaded and brought it up into my Acrobat. So there's the front page that Draft2Digital has generated itself from my title. There's the copyright page that it's also auto-generated. There's my dedication page that I typed myself. That's the back of that page. And then there's the first page of the book itself. One of the reasons for using their own front matter options is that then you make sure that page 1 is actually page 1 of the book. If I view this in 2-page view, you can see it a bit better. As you can see, it's very nice. It's also answered the question of how many pages the book is. The book is 137 pages, and I can now use that to calculate the spine width. But otherwise, we now have a print layout that I can upload to either CreateSpace or KDP Print, or indeed Ingram. I would think. I haven't tried Ingram, but I have tried using a similar approach for KDP Print and CreateSpace. Okay, I hope you found that useful.